you a first-time home buyer looking to buy a house? I know the home buying process can be pretty overwhelming sometimes, and there are some mistakes that you can make. But this video is going to help you avoid those mistakes. So we're going to talk about 10 different mistakes, pitfalls that you need to avoid, and we're going to help you avoid those so when your home buying process is a successful one. By the way, my name is Emmett Dempsey. I'm a mortgage broker and owner of Treasure Coast Mortgage out here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And if you want to do your own consultation, all my information is in the description. Call, email, and you can book a call on my calendar. If you want to find out how much home you can afford, just ask any specific questions to your situation. Go ahead and do that. I'd love to talk to you. Okay, mistake number 1, shopping for a home first. Look guys, I know you didn't really wake up and say, I would love to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I get it. Houses are beautiful, loans are necessary. Completely understandable. However, that is a huge, huge mistake. You definitely want to figure out how much home you can afford to know what your budget is. I mean, you wouldn't go shopping or vacation or somewhere else if you didn't know what your budget is. And it's kind of baffling why people would go shopping for a house, want to go look at houses before you go talk to a mortgage broker like me to figure out what your affordability is. So definitely get your finances down, know your budget, know what the costs are. So that's definitely mistake number 1. Okay, the second mistake is not fully assessing your finances, and that kind of also ties back to number 1. So the way we qualify here in the mortgage industry is we qualify based off your gross income. Now, we can't spend your gross income, but yet we qualify off your gross income because that's the standard. So understand, even though we qualify for how much home you can afford, it can be on FHA loan up to 56% debt to income ratio. Not only that, so you don't actually have that. That's based off your gross income. Your net income is what you live off of. So, you can kind of do the math, and your gross income percentage of 50% could be almost, 5-10 percentage points more, 60-70% of your income, and you can become what's called house poor. So you have to understand what the financial impact is going to be, not only to close, how much money that you need as far as down payment, closing costs, appraisals, inspections, your cash to close when you close on it, but also your ongoing, because you have to live in that house. Basically, you have to make a mortgage payment. That mortgage payment's coming. So you got to figure out that payment is affordable, today and going into the future. So having a fully assess your finances, not only to afford the house, but also live in the house is very important. Number 3 is neglecting your credit report. Now, credit is probably the number 1 source of, it's how we start the process to make sure that you have an accurate credit report, make sure that there's no mistakes. You can go and check out this playlist here that I did about assessing your credit report, building your credit and whatnot. So it's definitely huge. But not knowing what your credit scores are, relying too heavily on Credit Karma. Now again, here in the mortgage industry, we don't use the Vantage model. That's what Credit Karma uses. We use FICO versions 2, 4, and 5. And there could be very big differences on what your actual FICO scores are, which are going to affect, of course, the interest rates that you get and your monthly payment. So understanding any mistakes on your credit report, make sure you get those deleted. If you need credit repair, I have other reputable companies that I would refer you to. But knowing what your credit scores are, if there's any pitfalls or mistakes in your credit report, getting those cleared up is very, very important. Mistake number 4 is doing it alone. Having a home buying team will definitely make things a lot easier. People that do this each and every day like I do is definitely huge. So here on YouTube, I'm actually in the chair every single day talking to borrowers just like you. Okay, so you want to have an experienced loan professional like myself. I can refer you to an experienced agent that in the area that you want to live in. So having a team assembled is very, very important. So don't go it alone. Definitely rely on professionals that are in your marketplace in order to help your process along. Mistake number 5 is not using a mortgage broker. I believe mortgage brokers are the best thing for a client just like yourself who's looking to buy a house, because we can shop multiple investors, make sure that you get the best interest rate in terms of your loan. So this is what I do. I'm a practicing a mortgage broker. I'm not just a spokesperson here on YouTube. I'm actually in this chair, writing loans with my team, helping families every single day. So you want to understand that using a mortgage broker is the best possible situation to buy a house. Mistake number 6 is spending every dime that you have and not having enough emergency reserves. Now look, you have to buy this house. It's going to cost you your down payment, closing costs, and prepaids to acquire the house, but you got to live in the house afterwards, okay? And that mortgage payment's coming, and then also things break. I mean, here in Florida, it's hot. AC is always running. That AC is going to go. Okay, so I know that I've had to replace my AC a few times at a few different houses that I've owned because we live in Florida and it's hot here. So I'll prepare for that. So not setting yourself enough money or allocation for credit in order to do that is definitely a mistake to avoid. To understand that there's ongoing maintenance cost of your house and not just to sell out to go acquire the house. Number 7 is missing out on special programs. Of course, if you live in Florida and then you're a first responder, a veteran, of course there's the Hometown Heroes loan, there's other down payment assistance loans, like Chinoa, there's full FHA down payment assistance, there's local. So there's a lot of different programs out there that you may not know about. So that's why you want to talk to somebody in your community that really understands mortgages or your area to make sure that you're not missing on special programs. And it's not just down payment assistance programs, it's entire loan programs. I'm shocked by the number of times I talk to somebody and say, have you ever served in the military? Oh yeah. I was like, did you know about a VA loan? No, I didn't know about that. It happens all the time, guys, that you don't know that you are eligible for a VA loan. It's shocking because I'm a veteran, I got a VA loan, and I'm kind of shocked by it sometimes. But it happens. It happens in this chair. Also, if you want to buy in a rural area, there's certain things for USDA that, in the Orlando area, it's one of the biggest in the state. I didn't really know that until I started researching it. So not understanding things like where you want to buy a house, that might be eligible for USDA, and that's zero money, no money down. So knowing that there's a lot of different loan programs out there, so you want to talk to a good mortgage broker to make sure the different programs that you're qualified for. Number 8, affecting your credit during the mortgage process. So I know you might see some different memes about, I'm ready to close, I bought a car, bought furniture. Yeah, they're funny and they're joking, but it's happened where I've had loans that were clear to close, ready to go to closing, and they went out and got an installment loan, and it almost affected their affordability. And there's others that I've had, it hasn't happened to me so far because so far I've had good clients, but I've heard from other colleagues that it killed their loan. Like they couldn't close. Like they went out and bought a car, or they went out and bought furniture. So just don't do that. Don't affect your credit. Just imagine you're in a bubble for the next 30 to 45 days when you start the contract process before you buy that washer and dryer or furniture or new car. So kind of just wait till the mortgage process is over. Number 9 is expecting perfection. Okay, so if you're a first-time home buyer, this is not gonna be your forever house. And too often we want all the things. We have a checklist of all the things that we want. I want granite countertops and perfect floors and perfect this. My first house was not perfect. It was good enough, for our family at the time. So find something that you can afford, that avoids all these other checklists before this one, that fits enough of your boxes. Okay, so you have to really get real about what can I accept. Like, yes, I would love a nice pool home for under this price range, and you're looking for a unicorn. Okay, so the unicorns are called unicorns for a reason. They're very hard to catch, and then a lot of times they're mythical creatures that don't exist. Okay, so getting really real with your home search about what you want is definitely very important. So getting real with your home search, understanding that your first house may or may not be perfect, you might get lucky, but look for something that's good enough now to understand that it's a long game. I can just tell you my story. We bought our first house. At the time it was like for $79,000, and then we sold that house and moved up. And that's the way many people do it. They don't just start off in the houses that they're in. So you might have some folks you say, oh, I like this neighborhood. They might not have started there. They might have started in another neighborhood and moved their way up, moved across town, across the state. So just understand it's not this house, your first house, is more than likely it's not going to be your forever house. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Number 10 is not being parapsychologically to be a homeowner versus a renter. So you're a renter, you just call the landlord and they would come and fix it. As a homeowner, that's yours. You say that's your responsibility. There's certain things you might be ready for in order to replace. We talked about those major systems, like your AC, electrical, whatnot, to have those handyman in place in order to pay those. But also the ongoing maintenance cost, having to do your yard work, just all those little things add up. So you need to be prepared psychologically in order to do that. So if you want any additional resources, I know Fannie Mae has a framework course. There's other first-time homebuyer education courses if you want some more information on that, or you talk to a local professional like me. I know that you're going to avoid all these mistakes and be able to become an awesome homeowner because you're going to work with me and also watch this video right here.